Hey, what's going on guys? Arekkz here. Welcome back to another video for Animal Crossing, and today I want to talk about tips for making your island as good as it can possibly be. I'm sure we're all in the same boat where we're constantly refining and perfecting and moving things and just trying to make things as cool as possible, but then when you learn some of the kind of cool tips and you unlock things like terraforming, you can start doing some really awesome stuff. So in this video, I want to go over a few handy tips to help you improve your island building game. So, starting off at number one, the first thing is just planning your island. It's one thing to, just go around and place things as you see fit, but if you have an idea as to what you actually want to do, it's going to make your life a lot easier, it allows you to work towards things, and it's also going to save you some money, so at the end you don't necessarily have to pay too much money to start moving things around. There's actually a really useful tool, which we'll link down below. It's the Happy Island Designer. It's basically a little sort of top-down map, which you can then use to lay out, where you want things to go. You can lay out your villages, your different shops, you can lay out the different land masses and different elevations, and while obviously you're still ultimately going to need to build this in game, if you use this to effectively create or recreate what you want your island to look like, it then makes it easier for you personally to start working towards things as you begin building your island. So honestly, if you've done this already, some of you guys may have already done that, then definitely bonus points to you, but if you haven't tried it out, then definitely click that link in the description box down below, and it may well help you out with your planning ideas. However, moving on from there to number two, the next thing is to use custom designs to create unique pathways and floor detailing. Obviously, once you get the terraforming stuff and you get the other tools, you can start laying down pathways around your village, but if you want to take this one step further, you can start doing things where you can layer custom designs on the floor to add extra detailing where necessary, and you can also use it to create custom pathways such as things like tarmac roads. There's a few examples I'm going to kind of throw up on screen, some really inventive things people have done, like tarmac roads as if it was sort of like a anime where it's like the typical villages where the kids live on the sort of way home from school. You got things like custom hopscotch patterns which you can put on playgrounds. You've even got things that you can place under trees to make it look like the cherry blossoms have actually fallen down on the ground. Loads of things like that, and you can do this with any basic custom design, so you can either make your own or use one of the many cool designs shared online. There are actually some links to some really cool ones, like some of our personal favorite ones, in the description box down below. You can also layer your custom designs over the built-in pathways, but in order to make them work correctly, you have to take some specific steps. And you can do this basically by creating layers of custom designs, and then you link these all together. You can basically copy that design, move it around different positions, and ideally you want to create the designs so they have elements of transparency on different sides, so that if you're using it for something like a pathway, you can then place each design in the corresponding location to effectively give you the look that you're going for. So using custom designs layered on top of pathways can give you some really interesting results. Another really fun thing you can do, and this one is super cool, it's probably my favourite thing, and maybe it's kind of the sort of platformer fan or the Zelda fan in me that really likes this kind of stuff, but you can create hotspots, which are basically little sort of one-tile land masses that you can then put across areas like lakes or rivers, and you can use it to jump across organically, because when you're in game, while larger gaps you need to use your pole vault to actually get over, if it's a small one-tile gap and you sprint up to it, you can actually just naturally jump from platform to platform. So you can then use this either just to create quick pathways, which are actually a little bit cheaper than having to basically fork out for a big bridge, and you can also use it to create fun little mini game areas or hopping areas, or just ways to navigate more inventively to different areas on your island. You can even go and be extravagant and create parkour puzzles and stuff, but I mentioned before, sort of the Zelda fan in me reminds me of jumping between all the different areas, jumping on those lily pads and stuff. It's really kind of cool. So creating hotspots is a good way to basically create cheaper free bridges, or just means to more inventively explore your island. After that, the next tip I want to kind of talk about is more so just general tips and things about being slightly more efficient. So one of the first things, of course, is if you want to move trees around. Some of you guys may know this, some of you guys may not, but if you want to move your trees instead of having to cut them down and replant them, if you eat a fruit beforehand, you can then just pick up your shovel, you can dig up a tree, and it's a complete tree, goes back into your bag, and you can then go and replace it somewhere else, and as soon as you place it, the tree then pops back up in all of its glory. If it was carrying fruit, it'll still have fruit, so you can basically use this if you've placed a tree and you're like, oh no, I want to put a house here, and then you don't want to necessarily cut it down. You can use it to replace things, or if you want to suddenly start being really pedantic and create a nicely laid out orchard for all your fruit trees, then this is definitely how you want to go and do it. Pick up your trees, replace them, it's going to look really cool. Another thing you can consider doing is actually using fencing as a means to barricade off anything from, say, online island guests. If ever you like open up your island, maybe you want to let people come into I don't know, buy turnips or see your shops and stuff, but you don't necessarily want them to have complete access to everywhere. If you then put down fencing in certain areas, you can effectively barricade off different parts of your island, and only those of your friends that have best friend status would actually be able to move the fences. So if you wanted to basically create the island and like open it up to, I don't know, the masses in the world, but you didn't necessarily want them to go everywhere on your island, you can cleverly use fencing to block off different areas so that only certain people can go there. And then finally, the last one is when you're actually terraforming and using the terraforming option, just to kind of a, you know, time saving, like an efficiency tip for you, if you will. When you're tearing down cliffs, to actually make it easier, if you cut them into checkerboard-like lines, this will actually stop the kind of redundant shovel strike when it actually creates a round cliff edge. So, you know, this is kind of ultimate min-maxing, but if you're kind of going on like a big landscaping project and you want to save some time, then this can help you out. So, for the time being, that is it, my friends. That's a few tips for creating your ultimate island. I'm still working on making mine as good as I can possibly be. Still got a long way to go, but for those of you guys that were looking for some tips to take your island game to the next level, then hopefully this has helped. I really hope you guys enjoyed that video. Remember to hit that subscribe button and also click on the little bell icon to turn on notifications so you don't miss my next upload. Also, don't forget, you can check out 269 and Paradise Central streaming over on Twitch 6 days a week. You can find a link to the multi-stream in the description box down below. Be sure to drop by and get involved. Thanks again for watching. Take it easy. Catch you next time. Peace out.